o'clock. I know.
See you guys. See you later. Take care.
Call the meeting to order with pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Cody, would you do a roll call of the board, please?
Supervisor Milky,
Here.
Trustee Rice is excused. Trustee Bills?
Here.
Trustee Brown?
Here.
Trustee Smith?
Here.
Trustee Thering?
Here.
And Clerk Cody here.
I move to approve the agenda.
Motion
Support.
by Bills and support by Cody to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to approve the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda passes unanimously. We have no presentations, no public hearings. Public comment will be opened at 7 p.m. If you choose to address the public, please state your name and address for the record. Let the record show that no one is connected remotely. We'll give just a second here for people. Show no other public is present. With that, we'll close public comment at 7:01 p.m. Reports, boards, and comments. We have no appointments in front of us. Board member reports. Trustee Thering.
Thank you. Nothing to report today.
Clerk Cody.
Election went good.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah.
Trustee Brown.
No report.
Trustee
I'm all
Bill.
set.
Trustee Smith.
Just one quick thing on the county update. They did a community mental health presentation, annual presentation, so I'd like to highlight these when they come out. They indicated that just in the county, they serviced 1,112. That does not include any school or jail contacts that the community mental health have taken care of. And that they served, there was 1,650 jail contacts that they had to service and stuff. So it kind of highlights the mental health needs in the community and everywhere else and what they have to do as far as the jail. So I thought as part of that meeting that presentation was very informative.
That's
that
at
would be
least like 7 a day
Yeah.
between the two.
They earn their money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that the money from the county the amount has been frozen since the 90s.
Yeah.
Because the rest, so that's, so that's all I wanted to share with the county meeting.
Thank you. And I don't have anything this time. So consent agenda, who had warrants?
I did, and they are fine.
Motion to approve.
Support?
Motion by Cody, support by Smith to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to approve the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda passes unanimously. That brings us to new business. Item A, introduction and first reading of proposed ordinance to repeal outdated and unenforceable township ordinances, of which, if my memory is correct, there were 4 listed. Mr. Stuhldreher, do you have anything you'd like to introduce on this?
This is an introduction and first reading, so there'll be opportunities for the board to act on this down the road. Junkyard ordinance, February 7th, adopted 1957. This is outdated. It conflicts with the zoning code, which speaks to how junkyards are to exist in the township. Ordinance 1983-1 establishing procedures and standards, read license to sell beer and wine or spirits. This has requirements for a separate township-based licensing approval process. That's in conflict with current state law, so we're recommending, and it's unenforceable, so we're recommending that we do away with that. The next one is an adult entertainment business ordinance. It is zoning-like in its speak, but we do have this covered quite well in the zoning, in our current zoning code. And we have been for a while, even before the adoption of our current code, which was 2020. So we don't need that to be around. The marijuana dispensary grow facility ordinance, this was adopted. At the time it was adopted, it was applicable, but the state laws have changed since then as a result of a constitutional, or maybe not constitutional, a citizen-initiated referendum on the topic. And so we're recommending that all of these be revoked, and we needed to adopt an ordinance to revoke these ordinances. Hence, first reading, introduction. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the manager? Motions?
I move to introduce and conduct a first reading for a proposed ordinance to repeal outdated and unenforceable township ordinances.
Support.
Motion by Bills. I heard Cody first for support. Discussion on this?
These all need to go,
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah,
Call the vote.
please.
This is not resolution form, correct?
No, this is just introduction and first reading.
So everybody understand the motion?
Yes.
All in favor of the motion to conduct the first reading of the proposed ordinance repeals, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. That brings us to item 11B on the agenda, Stone Ridge and Meadowbrook Subdivision Paving Special Assessment District. This is the beginning of this process. Mr. Stuhldreher, would you like to introduce this?
Thank you. This is step one of up to 15-step process. We're asking the board to consider and approve that staff prepare preliminary report dealing with project cost estimates and to develop a formal petition for the establishment of a paving special assessment district for Stone Ridge and Meadowbrook subdivisions. The residents of Stone Ridge and Meadowbrook, they met the first requirement. They submitted an informal petition. It's been reviewed by the Public Services Department assessing and the Township clerk for validity. We're able to move forward on it at this time, and although there is a rough cost estimate in your packet, this resolution is really asking us to acquire more formal cost estimates. I will tell you that at this stage of the year, this work will not get done until 2025, and so there'll be some amounts added to the estimate in anticipation of cost increases that we would not become aware of until spring of next year. Be happy to answer any questions that you may have on this.
We have a reserve fund for this to lend them the money, right? And so do we have enough for that?
We should. Let me think. We had over $300,000 earlier in the year. We had Fox Meadow, so we fronted that. And then all during the year, we get receipts from special assessment payments. So by the time we get around to things next year, we should have ample money to be the bank.
Giddy up.
In the event we were to have a run on that account, if we needed to support it, what's the legality as far as processes for that? Do you know?
We would have to borrow the money, and then we would have to follow the Municipal Financing Act to borrow the money, whether we issued bonds and put those out for sale on the street, or whether we went to a bank looking for a loan. We're still advancing our credit, and we'd have to follow this, the Michigan Financing Act.
So it's not a situation where the general fund could loan it to that account?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
It's possible.
Okay.
Thank you. I move to consider approve to prepare a preliminary project cost estimates and to develop a formal petition for the establishment of a paving special assessment district for Stone Ridge and Meadowbrook subdivisions.
Support.
Motion by Bill, support by Brown. Any other questions or discussion?
Just to take out consider.
Okay,
Um,
thanks. I agree.
Are you good with that amendment?
Yep.
Okay. Seeing no discussion, Clerk Cody, would you do a roll call of the board on the motion? Is everybody clear on the motion?
Supervisor Milky?
Yes.
Clerk Cody, yes. Trustee Bills?
Yes.
Trustee Brown?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
And Trustee Thering?
Yes.
All yeses.
Motion passes unanimously by my count.
Yes.
That takes us to item 11C on the agenda. This is a fun one for me. I think for the rest of the board as well. This is regarding spending some of the grant money that we have. So this is long been under plan regarding the water well bid process. Mr. Stuhldreher, would you like to add anything to this?
Thank you. We put out on the street bids for what we're referring to as we'll have well number 12, which will be a new well. We have to run a water main from that. We also have a water main over on Somerton and Pickard roughly that we need to work, install. This is all part of the drinking water revolving loan fund. It's a grant for us, $10 million. You all have approved a couple contracts, one sizable with Gordy Fraser for engineering, design, and support work. This, I believe, is the first contract to actually put shovels in the ground to get this project moving. The idea is to have all the contracts in place by the end of this year and then work commencing for some areas yet this year and into next year. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I only have one. It was just more of a curiosity. When we go through this process of looking for new well sites, I'm assuming, do we have to check for other private wells in the area that, because of the demand that we'll have on a particular aquifer, that it may affect other private wells?
I'll let Kim speak to that. The short answer is yes, we do.
There's extensive testing that has to be done. That's what the monitoring well is for, as well as they'll look at, for instance, the city of Mount Pleasant has wells right across the street. We also have wells at the shop, so you do draw down on those, and yes, so there's extensive testing that has to go into this to make sure.
I figured as much, but I wanted to ask it anyway, so I
Some
understood.
of that has happened when we did the first test well,
Yeah.
and then they tell you, yay or nay, you can move forward. We've been approved to move forward, so now we're going to the next step.
Awesome. Thank
And
you.
that test site was at the current location.
Right. Any other questions?
I'll make a motion if we're good. Motion approved of the bid from Peerless Midwest for the Eagle Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, DWSRF, ARPA Grant Division, of a water supply well development capital improvement project in the amount of $126,982, and to authorize the township manager to sign the contract.
Support.
Well, motion by Brown, support by Bills. Any other discussion, questions? Everybody clear on the motion? All in favor of the motion to, this is not resolution, right? That's why I'm looking at you. I didn't see it. You look like you want to do a resolution.
Or a roll call?
Roll call, excuse me.
It's just a contract over 100,000.
Okay,
It's just suggested.
I think it's a good idea.
Supervisor Milky?
Yes.
Clerk Cody, yes. Trustee Bills?
Yes.
Trustee Brown?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
And Trustee Thering?
Yes.
All yeses.
Motion passes
What did I say,
unanimously. That brings us to our last new business item. Item D, this is a discussion, action, consideration in a participation agreement with the city regarding the pathway over on Crawford. I think we're all familiar with it. Mr. Stuhldreher, would you like to introduce this?
Thank you. I briefly mentioned this item during manager comments last week. This would be to extend existing pathways up to Mission Creek Park. Union Township has been involved in improvements to that park in several forms. One was with the Bark Park, the construction of that originally, and then we also pay for some of the operating expenses along with the city and the Friends of the Park. We were also provided some funding in partnership when they did the, I'll call it the warming house up at the top of the ski hill off to the right of the Bark Park. So we have a history of helping to service this park. In 2022, the township provided $9,000 to the city to help support some design and preliminary work. And then on January 25th of 2023, the board adopted a resolution of intent to collaborate as a funding partner. This step here kind of cements that notice of intent. We would be funding up to $375,000 of what we are estimating right now is to be $1,300,000 project. This participation agreement would satisfy the U.S. Department of Treasury regulations as it relates to the ARPA funds to have these committed by the end of 2024. Construction is expected to begin and be completed in 2025.
I'd like to move to approve a participation agreement with the city of Mount Pleasant to formalize the prior commitment to provide up to $375,000 in funding for the Mid-Michigan GKB Pathway North Connection Project.
Support.
Motion by Bills, support by Brown. Any other discussion or questions? Trustee Smith?
Just one quick question. If additional funding is found through other grants, would that lower the city and the township's contribution proportionally?
It should. We don't have anything in writing of that, but I would anticipate that to be the case.
Okay.
And I can pretty safely say that we would all share in whether it's additional grant state-funded money or maybe some tribal support, because we're looking to run it along the west side of the road. But we just don't want to get too far out in front of things.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Clerk Cody, would you do a roll call of the board? Everybody clear on the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Supervisor Milky,
Yes.
Clerk Cody, yes. Trustee Bills,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
and Trustee Thering.
Yes.
All yeses.
Motion passes unanimously. I'm excited about that one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Moving on, that brings us to extended public comment. Extended public comment is restricted to 5 minutes regarding any issue. If you choose to address the public, please state your name and address for the record. And with that, we'll open up extended public comment at 7:18 p.m. Let the record show no one connected remotely and no one is present from the public in person. So with that, we'll close extended public comment at 7:18 p.m. Mr. Stuhldreher, manager's comments, you have the floor.
Thank you. As it relates to the election, you all allowing us to close the Township Hall for the election day, I think proved helpful to both the activities going on in this room and to staff. And also like to thank Amy and Tara and Lisa for all working together up there and you all helping us help you. I thought the election went well from an operational perspective anyways. We have our rental inspector has resigned, Eric Miller. It was effective about a week ago. He has moved on to the city of Midland and will be reporting to Jacob Kane, who some of us know from the city of Mount Pleasant. He was the city planner
Okay.
and is now over at the city of Midland. So we've advertised that job and that opening, and we'll fill it as appropriate. And then, although it's a couple meetings away, September 11th is a board meeting night. That's also the night of the Corporate Olympics, and the township is going to have a team there, and I'll be on that team. So Ms. Kim Smith will be sitting in this seat at that meeting. And if that changes for some reason, I'd let you know. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for our manager? Moving on to final board member comment. Trustee Brown,
I'm all set, thank you.
Trustee Bills.
So I had to say that I was shocked and dismayed to find that McLaren's been hacked. So if any, yeah, they've been hacked.
you're
They've been
right.
down for a week and a half now, and they're gonna be down for another 6 weeks. Yeah, and so if anybody thinks they wanna get complacent with opening emails, be careful.
Yeah, the phishing
Yeah,
stuff.
that's all.
Which are, phishing was going after the presidential campaigns. Same thing.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know, but I haven't gotten, I mean, I get them all the time. I got one from your email.
Yes, you did.
know. Yeah, but.
But you know I didn't send it.
No, I know you. You don't even talk like that. Click here. I'll click here, buddy.
Thank you. Trustee Smith?
Nothing.
I have nothing. Clerk Cody?
I just want to thank everybody for all the hard work and everything for the election day, staff, election workers, CMS, Mark, Amy, Tara. Everybody helped set up, tear down, run everything smoothly. Everything went good.
Because we have a great clerk, too.
Yeah.
Trustee Therian?
We're clear.
All right, well, I hope everybody gets to enjoy the rest of their summer. Remember, just a note, I think it's August 28th is our next meeting, whatever, that's the date. Reminder to bring your evaluation forms filled out,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
right? They're in our packet from the last meeting. Just reminder to fill those out and bring those with you, because we'll have our discussion on that.
I'm sorry, you said the,
Manager evaluation form.
no, I understand that. You said we got copies of that?
It was in our packet last meeting. If not, email someone, see if you can get a copy.
I don't
But
It's in your packet.
It was part of
It's
the
in
it was part of the
packet,
packet.
Like it,
Okay.
the
If
back.
It's
you
right
have
in the
a chan-
back.
If you have the
Right
in the
ability to
very
print
end
it
of the-
out.
We just print it out again. It's fine.
I'm sure I got it. I just,
I'm more-
I,
more
you
concise
guys are
on it.
always good about that. I'm the one that,
Well, that's
I
why I'm
move-
reminding you now. With that, our business is done,
I
right?
move to adjourn the meeting.
Support.
Motion by Bill, support by Brown. Any objections? All in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thanks, guys.
Motion passes
These are all for
unanimously.
you.
Good job, Brian.